welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea and today we are going to do 3 looks with the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I recently reviewed this palette on my channel and I asked y'all if you wanted to see this video, and I did have somebody say they wanted to see it and I just wanted to make it. So we're gonna do 3 looks with this palette today on top of the look that I did in that video. In that video, I used these 3 shimmer shades and I loved that look. So we're gonna do 3 more looks today, and so I'm gonna do 1 look on each eye, and then for the final look I'll do it on both eyes. And yeah, let's dive right in. I'm gonna zoom y'all in. If y'all are wondering what's on my face, I'm actually doing a wear test on Rare Beauty today, the new line from Selena Gomez. And you tell me, do you like it? I'm not gonna give you any spoilers. So I think for the first look, I'm gonna do something with the warmer shades. So I'm gonna dive into this gold and these 2 mattes. I'm gonna start with a Morphe M532 brush, and I'm gonna dive right into the shade Blend. We're just going in the crease and on the outer corner. You see how quickly that blended? So effortless. Literally. That's it. Now I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush, and I'm going back into blend just with a smaller brush, my Kitco 1.27S My Soft Blender. And I'm gonna deepen that even more. Perfect. So now I'm gonna go into the shade Smoke with this same brush. And I'm just gonna deepen the crease and the outer corner. I'm gonna start by patting this on the outer corner and then softly blend through the crease. Adding a little bit more out here to deepen things up a little bit. I'm just gonna take that original brush we used and back into the shade Blend, the first shade we used. I'm gonna add a little bit more up here. And back into Smoke. Now I'm gonna do the lower lash line, and I'm going in with my Morphe E18 back into that first shade Blend. And I'm just gonna run that on the lower lash line. I'm connecting that here up to that top area. And I'm also going to take a Morphe E36 and I'm gonna go into Smoke, and we're just gonna add that as well. We're gonna keep that to the outer half. And I'm gonna go back in with my Kitco brush and back into Smoke and just add a little bit more. Try to deepen that up really good. Back into the first brush we used, and I'm just gonna blend. And if you can see, I'm kind of keeping this at an angle right here to kind of give me a cat eye shape. The shape suits my eyes the best. It's my preferred method, and it's kind of being dragged out past my brow a little bit. Not a ton, just a little bit. I'm gonna go into this gold shade called Center Eyelid, and I'm gonna use my finger, and we're gonna put that all over the lid. This shade was like the smoothest shade in the palette whenever I was swatching it. It is applying nicely with no glitter glue. If you want extra oomph, I would just recommend adding that. So I'm actually going to go into the shade next to it called Outer Eyelid, and we're gonna put that on the outer eyelid. I'm going to use a brush for this. I'm going to use a Morphe M522. And I'm just going to pat that on. I'm going to blend that into my crease just a little bit. I did get a little bit of fallout from that. I'm just going to use my powder brush to wipe that away. Oh, my hair is getting in the way. Fallout is one of the reasons why I typically use that NYX Glitter Glue all the time. So that just goes to show me that I should have used it. But these shades are looking nice without it. I'm just going back into this gold a little bit. If you do your eyes first, it's not a problem. You can just wipe it off. So now I'm going to go into this shade right here called Center Eyelid, and I'm going to put that actually in the inner corner right here on top of this gold. To try to add some dimension. I feel like that didn't do anything. Like the gold shade is too much. I'm going to go back in with my Morphe M522. And I'm just going to spray that with some MAC Fix Plus. And we'll try to apply it that way. So my brush is wet now. There we go. And it's just kind of softening that gold to be more of a champagne-y shade on the inner corner. I'm going to take the other side of that brush and add a little bit of the gold here. Just to brighten up that shine. It's looking so nice. So now I'm going to take my Sephora Pro Flat Concealer brush number 76, and I'm going to go into this shade called Brow Bone. And I'm going to add that to my inner corner. That shade is super pretty. I'm going to go back to my Morphe M522. And I'm going to pick up some of this shade that we put on the outer corner right here. And I'm going to wet my brush again with MAC Fix Plus. And I'm just going to add some of this to the lower lash line. And that's it for the first look. So for look number 2, I'm going to do something super cool toned. I'm going to try to stick to this side over here. So first I'm going to go in with my Morphe M532, and I'm going to go into the shade Transition. Just going to run that through my crease and above. This shade is quite light. On darker skin tones, this would be a great brow bone highlight or inner corner highlight. But for me, even for me, it barely shows up. It's just a light dusting. I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to go into this shade right here called Crease. And we're going to throw that. You know, I think I'm going to do a halo eye. So we're going to throw that on the outer corner. So pretty. A little bit in the crease. I'm going to take my Morphe M522 and back into this shade Crease. And I'm just going to pat this on the inner corner. And then I'm going to pat a little bit on the outer corner as well. Brushes like this are great for packing on color where you want it. So I'm going to go in with a smaller brush. This is a Morphe M124. And I'm going to go into the shade Smoke. And we're just going to add some depth to the outer corner and the inner corner. I'm really trying to pack on some depth to this outer corner, and I am getting some fallout from this shade. If you can't see, if you can see that, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna have to clean this up with concealer. I didn't set my face today on purpose because I figured I might have some fallout. That's okay. So now I'm going to go into the shade Lash Line. This is a Morphe M213. And I'm just deepening the inner and the outer corner even more. There we go. I'm gonna add a little bit of the shade Smoke just in the crease. Just a little. And then I'm gonna blend that out. This is the brush we used in the beginning for the transition shade. And again with this, I'm trying to keep it at that angle. So now I'm gonna take the shade right here called Outer Eyelid. And I'm going to use a Morphe M213. I'm gonna spray that with MAC Fix Plus. I'm gonna apply that here. And here. I'm just blending that into the matte shades we used. Need some more Fix Plus. I apologize if you can hear my dogs chewing on bones. I had to bribe them to be quiet and they're chewing their bones loudly. I'm getting more fallout. Quite a bit of fallout. I feel like the first time I used this palette, I didn't really have any fallout, which I'm not mad at. These are dark shades. So just do your eyes first if you want to avoid that altogether. So I'm going to take the same brush. I am wiping these brushes off in between using them with different shades. A lot of people use what's called a color switch, where you can just run your brush in it and it cleans it. I am using this. This is the foam. This is a hack. This is the foam that BoxyCharm sends in their boxes to pad it, and it's basically the same type of material. So if you can't tell, I have little colors all over it. I always use these to clean off my brushes while I'm doing looks. Same brush, and spraying that with Fix Plus again. I'm gonna go to this shade right here, this silver shade called Center Eyelid, and we're gonna put that in the middle. And I'm just blending this into the shade we applied before. And I'm leaving a little tiny strip in the middle because we're gonna put this brighter shade on top. And I'm just blending those together. I did flip my brush over to the side with no product on it so I could blend a little better. And I just wiped off my brush again. More Fix Plus. I use Fix Plus because it has glycerin in it and it just helps with stickiness. So we're gonna go into this shade right here and put that directly in the center. Oh yeah. I almost wish I did this last. This look is gorgeous. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna do the lower lash line. I am going to take a Morphe M149 and I'm just gonna go into the shade Crease. I'm gonna put that on the outer and inner corner on the bottom. And I'm just connecting this to the top so we can get that line. And then also connecting this to the inner corner as well. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of lash line, this shade. And I'm gonna use, this is a Coastal Scents little tiny brush. It's very similar to this Morphe one we've been using for the shimmery shades. It's just a little bit smaller. This is from a kit from a long time ago. It doesn't have like a name or anything on it. And we're just gonna deepen up that inner and outer corner. And I'm going to take this Morphe E36 into the shade Transition. And I'm just gonna blend that on the bottom. So now I'm going back in with the Morphe M213 and we're gonna use the same shimmery shades on the bottom, the outer eyelid one on the outside. And this brush is still wet from doing the top. And we're gonna put them in the exact same places as we put them on the top. Now I'm going in with the center eyelid shade. And then now the inner corner shade, the very center shade. And I'm also going to take this inner corner shade that we used on the center of the lid and I'm going to pop that right here. Just to brighten it up a little bit. Ignore this lip. I don't feel like it goes with... Let me take this off. I'm going to throw on Urban Decay Backtalk just because I feel like it would look good with these looks. It's a pretty cool tone mauve. Okay, so that's it for these two looks. What do you think? They're both super different. Which one's your favorite? I can't decide. This is something I would wear like on a regular basis, but I'm kind of living for this right now. Okay, I'll be back in a second to do the next look. Okay, y'all, I'm back to do the final look. So first I'm gonna take my Morphe M532 and I'm going to go into the shade right here. And this is the look I already did, this eye. It's just a super simple look that is honestly perfect for every day. But I also added a wing to it because why not? And then I'm gonna go into the shade Crease, same brush. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that for some depth. even out the colors on both eyes. And then I'm gonna take my Sephora Pro Flat Concealer Brush number 76 and go into this shade called Brow Bone, and we're gonna put it on the brow bone. And I'm just gonna go back into my blending brush and run over that. And now I'm going to do the lower lash line. I'm taking my Morphe E18 and I'm just gonna dip into both of those two shades we used in the crease and run those on the lower lash line. Just connecting that. And now I'm gonna go in with my NYX Glitter Glue. Oh, that might have been too much. I'm just tapping it in all over the entire lid with my finger. And then I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And we're gonna go into this shade right here called Inner Corner. This is my favorite shade in this palette. It's the most reflective. These two shades right here have a little bit different of a formula than the rest of the shimmers in the palette. They're a little bit more intense and sparkly, which is my favorite thing. So I'm just going in with my finger and I'm tapping this all over the entire lid. And then, I don't think you can tell, but I'm just gonna take a little bit of this shade and tap that on the outer corner. I did it on the other side, but I don't really think you can see a difference. I was just trying to darken it up a little bit out there. And I'm gonna take my Sephora Pro Flat Concealer Brush and I'm going back into the shade that we used on the lid, and I'm just putting that on the inner corner and a little bit on the lower lash line. Now I'm gonna go do my wing and mascara off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so for a liner, I used my Hank & Henry Blickety Black Slick With It liner. Blickety Black is the shade. And then for mascara, I used my Monsieur Big Waterproof as a base, and then my Kosas Big Clean mascara, I believe is the shade. And then on my lips, I have the Rare Beauty Dewy Lip Balm in Empathy. So this is the final look. What do you think? This is totally an everyday look. If you want to like super amp it up, you could add lashes. If you don't want it to be dramatic, you can take off the eyeliner and do no eyeliner and it would look pretty like that as well. With the other two looks I did, if you want to wear lashes, obviously you can wear lashes with those as well. I'm just not a lash person. I don't wear them. I like my lashes and I don't want to ruin them by putting lash glue on them all the time. Let me know down in the comment section below which was your favorite look. Do you enjoy these types of videos? Should I do this with more palettes? Let me know. Please give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell and the subscribe button. It really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.